Political Analyst Sam Phatey in Washington, D.C. Good to have you on the program. I want to ask first about these protests, which, of course, we've seen have turned violent. Do you think that this actually distracts from the message protesters are trying to send?
Absolutely. I think that when violence happens and it is redirected to the wrong group of people, like a Target store or like another convenience or grocery store, it kind of sends the wrong message. It kind of defeats the purpose of them going out there. It gives opportunity to other people to say, okay, look, this is what the issue is, this is what we're talking about, and that is why the police fear their lives. Because that's the biggest excuse the police use when situations like this happen, that they fear for their lives. So I think the rioting, for example, the protesters have to be organized. They have to look for leaders. That way that we can prevent the rioting, and that way that their anger and their frustration and everything that their complaints can be directed to the right authorities and the right persons.
Mm-hmm. We have seen a number of protests in recent years after similar videos have come to light of police brutality. But I do want to point out that this is not new. I remember in 1991, Rodney King, after he was arrested for speeding, was violently beaten by police. And we saw the LA riots break out after 3 of the white police officers were acquitted. Almost 30 years later, nothing seems to have changed. What will it take for changes to be made? And do you think it actually is getting worse?
I think it is getting worse since the 2016 election of Donald Trump. What most people expect of a leader, especially in a country that is so diverse like the United States, is that when things like this happen, a leader has to condemn it. In Charlottesville, when Donald Trump failed to condemn the white supremacists for their action, it even emboldened them. So since he's coming into power, it has racism for the most part was subtle in America, but now they feel emboldened. It is more open and it is more apparent. And here's what is going to happen. You have a lot of organizations that are organizing for the police, and they are influencing decisions that have been made at local level and even in Washington. Now, the operation of law enforcement in the United States is very, very different from the rest of the world. Now, in the United States, policing at federal level is mostly with the FBI. Now, the rest of the policing is with state, county, and city governments. So they have a lot of autonomy. They control their own policy and most of their own regulations. So when it comes to accountability, a lot of organizations have to be done at community and local levels in order to change some of these laws and how police are held accountable. The current officer we are talking about that sparked this Minneapolis crisis had 18 complaints. Most of these complaints are sealed. We don't know exactly what is inside them. He had been involved in other shootings as well. So that accountability level has to change, and it means we have to be more organized as a community.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Sam Phatey in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much, Sam. And I just want to point out to our viewers what we're looking at right now. These are live images coming in from Minneapolis in Minnesota. This is the police headquarters, which is burning. It has been burning for several hours now. So, of course, we will keep you updated on what's happening in Minneapolis.